Hi everyone, in this video we are going to learn about shutter speed. But before that, first of all, let us understand what is a shutter speed. A shutter is basically a mirror that goes up and down and allows light to get past the camera while you are taking photos or videos. If you click a photo in your DSLR camera, you must have heard a click sound while you are clicking a photo, which is actually the sound of the shutter. So let's understand how it affects light and how you can use it to control the exposure. A slow shutter speed allows more light, but it results in motion blur. A higher shutter speed allows less light, but it results in less motion blur in your footage. Our goal is to avoid motion blur and also allow more light to pass through and get a good exposure in our footage. To achieve this goal, you need to keep one rule in mind. To avoid the motion blur in your footage while you are shooting, keep the shutter speed to the double of your FPS, which is the frames per second that you are shooting. For example, if you are shooting at a 24 to 25 FPS, then keep your shutter speed at 1/50th of the second, which is double of the FPS. And if you are shooting at 60 FPS, then keep your shutter speed at 120th of a second. Well, that's all about the exposure part. So if you are shooting in a certain FPS, then keep the shutter speed double to that FPS so that you would not get any kind of motion blur in your footage. Well, that's all about exposure control and all the exposure triangle that I have explained about the aperture, the shutter speed and the ISO. So now it's time to move on to the next part, which is how we are going to measure the exposure. Maybe for you the exposure is good, maybe for someone else the exposure is not good. So how we can measure it, we are going to talk about it in the next video. So let's move on to the next one and we're going to talk about it in a more detailed manner.